You're talking about the railroad. What the job was like. He said that sometimes you'd be out in the rain for
Oh,
hours.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of times you'd be out in the rain or extreme cold for hours at a time. And it would take just 1 minute to get killed. I had a steam engine. I was working out in the rain one night, walking along the tracks, and a steam engine came up from behind me. And because I had a rain hood on, with the rain pounding on the hood, I couldn't hear him. He was blowing the whistle and everything, but I didn't hear him. And the rivets in the tank brushed across my arm, going by. So,
He was moving pretty good.
well, don't
Doesn't take much, I guess.
10 or 20 or 30, maybe 15, 20 miles an hour, but that's 1,000,000 pounds of weight hitting you.
Mm-hmm.
But, another time, right in the same area, we were switching cars, separating, making up a train to take downtown, north end of the Union Station, in that area. And we kicked the car on a slight rise, and I put a block under the wheel to hold it from running back while we were switching. And it jumped over the block, so I ran to the other end of it and climbed up, got to the brake to stop it. And just as I got up on the brake there, they hit it with another car. So I did a somersault on top of the car, and maybe another one in the air, and I wound up on my hands and knees in between the cars, on the side of the car.
Wow.
So,
Good thing you were a young man.
yeah. Well, if I was any older, I wouldn't have made that move.
Yeah.
I just gave him a stop sign and figured that stopped it, but they had already had the car on the way.
Wow. So, what company was it?
Pennsylvania Railroad Company.
And these trains run out of state, or are they pretty
Yeah.
local?
Well, we would, on that job, I started to work on Damon Avenue, near Lake Street, and cars would be dropped, trains would be brought to that area from 59th Street. They'd take all the cars that belonged to the industries in that area and bring them down and store them in the yards there. And we'd go in and dig out the cars we wanted to deliver, make up our little train, and then deliver the cars, and pick up the loads that were outbound and bring them back, leave them there, and then they would wind up going to 59th Street, go on to their further destinations. So.
They give you any benefits with that, like free rail transport or anything?
Yeah,
Take any trips?
very little. Once or twice.
Tell me about Uncle Ray. I heard that Uncle Ray was older than you, right?
He was a year younger.
A year younger than you. But he was a hobo at the age of 15 or something?
Yeah.
Whatever.
His father was an alcoholic, and Ray left home at the age of 15 with Edgar Paget going out bumming, going to the West Coast. They went out there bumming and working whatever they could get, you know. Ray worked for a time in a Greek restaurant. Paget had left his house when he was about the same age, and again, a crazy alcoholic parent that drove him out. Edgar Paget wound up in prison for about a year for getting involved with the hold-up in Louisiana. He wound up in Angola State Penitentiary.
Wow.
Until from 16 to 17, about a year, I guess.
That's the guy you ended up in the Marines with, right?
No. No, he was working on the railroad with us. In fact, he got the job there first. before Ray and I. He got a job, Ray got the job, and then I got the job.
And this was a union job?
Yeah. Brotherhood of Railway Trainmen.
Hmm.
That Damon Avenue job I was talking about, that we would work at the north end of the Union Station, and it was a midnight job, so at that time you could look right down the Chicago River and see the Tribune Tower and all those beautiful buildings along there. It was really a beautiful sight on the nighttime. First night I worked down there, in fact the first day I worked for the railroad was down there on a night job, and it was 9 below zero in February. I didn't have the proper uniform for that kind of weather yet. I froze my rear end off there, worked a couple hours of overtime. Really got it breaking in.
Yeah. So you were working night shift?
Most of the time, you would bid for jobs, and the jobs were given according to seniority.
Gotcha. So the low man got the night shift?
Unless an older guy wanted it. Some older guys worked nights all their lives and just loved it, you know.
So what else was going on when you were working for the railroad? I mean, you're working 40 hours a week,
Sometimes more.
hitting the bars,
Yeah,
living with your folks still, right?
right.
But you felt a little disconnected from, you said your conscience was bothering you that you were not serving.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Are you feeling, I guess, a strong sense of patriotism, or there was a lot of people involved in something that you weren't, or?
Well, patriotism, I guess. Just a feeling that I should have been there, you know. I'm the right age.